Welcome to our coaching chat Zoom. We are, we're in our third week of attain, retain, and maintain customers. And, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about if you get that vision in your head of a bathtub and you're bringing on customers left and right. And it's like that faucet in a bathtub and water's just pouring in. But if we don't have the plug in the tub, it's going to drain out just as fast as it's coming in. And so we as partners, we want to really focus on attaining customers and getting them, but then retaining them. And then lastly, if I get them and I'm retaining them, what does the maintenance look like as far as maintaining those customers? So we can retain them from a relationship standpoint, but really maintaining them, we need to have you guys are sick of hearing me say it, we need to have a system in place to help us do that. And so that's what we're kind of processing and talking about with this series. Let me see here. I got to remember when I get in this position. There we go. Okay, so let me move over into where we start today when it comes to maintaining. And when I was thinking about maintaining, to maintain, it's kind of a three-part process. Number one, it's the setup. When I get a new customer, getting them set up so that they're off to a strong start as my customer. Then there's the follow-up. And then there's the build-up. Because we don't want just customers to stay where they are when we bring them on. We want to build them to the point that they are solidified customers and they're calling us. They wouldn't go a day without taking their Juice Plus. Would you go a day without taking I've gotten up out of bed as tired as what I might be if I've realized I've been out and about and I'll get up and go take my Juice Plus. We want people to, this makes me think of my friend Christy Sweat. I remember I was talking to my customers and I thought, I'm just going to ask these customers who've been customers for 5, 10, 15 years, why they still take Juice Plus. And I remember calling my friend Christy Sweat and I said, Christy, tell me why you take Juice Plus. You've been a customer for probably 20 years. She goes, well, I think I'm afraid not to. I'm afraid not to take it every day. And I thought, you know what? That's what we want. We want to get those customers to the point that they wouldn't go a day without Juice Plus. That doesn't happen in a vacuum. We have to build that customer up to the point that they really believe in Juice Plus. They know what Juice Plus is. They know the research, and they wouldn't go a day without it. So this maintaining process is 3 parts. So let's start by the setup. When you just get a new customer, what does the setup look like for you? Do you have a setup? Or do you just go in, place an order, and move on? So here's if you're just get it in there, get it done, and move on kind of a person, I'm going to challenge you to think about the setup. And I'm here to tell you, and I'm going to show you, I don't know if y'all can see. I've got notebook. I am a huge notebook person. You see all those notebooks up there? I have a order form for every customer I've ever had. And you know what? A couple times a year, I'm going to pull out my inactive customer notebook, and I'm just going to start making phone calls, sending emails, sending text messages. And when I do that, I usually recoup 3 or 4 customers. So number one, I'm going to challenge you guys is when you put in a customer order, I want you to print off that customer form, that customer order form. And what I do is I've got a stamp, and this is my customer stamp. You can see it here. That's what it looks like. And I stamp that in the upper part of that customer order form. Now, this is my system. Doesn't have to be your system, but I'm going to challenge you to have a system that has a lot of these components in it, because I think, kind of back to our earlier call in the leadership huddle, that setup, getting that customer off to a strong start, like we were kind of talking about from a partner standpoint earlier, the same is true from a customer standpoint, getting them off to a strong start. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure I've got them in my phone, in my contacts in my phone. And why is that? Because when I'm in a car and I've got a 15-minute drive, I know I can quickly get to somebody's customer. I can get to a phone number and give somebody a call when I'm on a 15-minute, not wasting any time. So number one, I want them in my contacts so that I have them from here into eternity. I can always connect with them. The next thing I do is I want to make sure that I get them. I have constant contact where I create newsletters. And so I make sure they're in my constant contact newsletter customers so that when I send out a newsletter, they will get a newsletter. I know everybody on here might not have constant contact. So here's what I'm going to share. Here's something I want to share with you. Is if you go to, we have our, let me see if I can find it. We have our Juice Plus Team Extreme website. And let me scoot back here. Sorry, we're going to go there in a minute, but right for now, if you go to HTTPS, can y'all see that? teamextreme.dropmark.com. Here are, and what I try to do is put the newsletters that I create in here. The last one that Brenda and I worked on and sent out, and actually has Brenda Proctor's amazing story, health recovery story on it. If you look, you can copy this. And there's her story, which is a phenomenal story. And you can send that to your customers. I try to do, my goal is once a month. I hate to say it, it probably ends up being more like a quarterly newsletter. But what does it do? Every time I send this newsletter out, I usually get a customer back or a new customer. And so just another opportunity to do customer care. All right, so let's go back to, let me go back.
And speaking of that, Elaine, we have our amazing, transformation stories tonight.
Absolutely. So let me,
sure everybody here on here knows that.
Yes. So let me pull this up while we're talking about it. Can y'all see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's the invitation tonight. We're going to have our health transformation stories. We're going to have Edie, who's on here today, who has a phenomenal story. And Edie's going to share her story is on glaucoma. I think I see Precious on here. Precious, what's your story? Tell me I can't wait because I don't know that I've ever heard your health recovery story. Are you?
Yeah, I'm here. Since I was a kid, I suffered with chronic migraines, which turned into stomach ulcers and then to chronic fatigue and anemia. And I just struggled through that pain my entire life because I thought that was the way God made me and the way I'm supposed to be. And I didn't get healed until I put my children's health as a priority. So I always say I healed myself accidentally.
I love it. Okay, so she's going to tell her story. And then I don't know, is Ellen on here? Ellen's going to tell her story. Is Ellen on here?
Her mother's in the hospital. She'll be on the call tonight though.
Okay. And Karen, just briefly, what's her health recovery story?
It's amazing.
It's what hasn't she recovered from is a better question. Adrenal fatigue, weight loss. She's lost, I think, 50 pounds since she started last year. Yeah. She's had issues with hip replacements. She's had hair loss and, oh gosh, there's so many things on her list. I don't have it right in front of me, but yes, I do.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, you got to be on the call tonight to hear Edie, Ellen, and Precious's story, because I know they're gonna be phenomenal. And I want you to stop right now. Who do you know? Which reminds me, I need to send out a message to all my customers, all your prospects. Let's really load up this call. I'm going to take a few minutes. I don't want to forget. I want to send out a project broadcast with that. You guys utilize these calls. These calls are made to help us build and grow our business. Okay, so back to the checklist. The next thing is add customers to our customer Facebook group. Some of you have your own customer Facebook group, which is awesome. Get them on when you bring a new customer on. If you don't, I'm going to encourage you, Brenda. I think I have that pulled up. Brenda Proctor does an amazing job when it comes to she runs our team customer Facebook page. She does the most beautiful posts. This one was phenomenal. Just look at these incredible posts. You want to make sure your customers are on here. You know what? This is just another way to really support them on their health journey and give them ideas. So it's not just, oh, take Juice Plus and we're done with you. What this helps is communicate to them. We care about your health. We care about your journey, and we want to partner with you. And this is free. Brenda doesn't charge us for all the time she takes investing in these gorgeous posts. So add your customers. Hopefully everyone on here is on this, and feel free to add your customers. Another way just to do tremendous customer care. Okay, so the next thing because I think I'll be popping in and out, so we're going to leave it like this for a minute. I use Project Broadcast, and it is a software that costs money. I think I pay $15 or $20 a month, depending. It's based on how many names you put in. But if you guys, as you're on this call today, Brenda and I both use Project Broadcast to invite you on the call, or Linda used Project Broadcast to invite you on the call. It's just an automated way of connecting with your customers. So I would say if you've got, at least 30, 40, 50 customers, you may want to look at using Project Broadcast. It just streamlines connecting with your customers. So when I set someone up, I make sure that new customer gets put into Project Broadcast. Brenda and I are working on, we already have a new customer, almost a year's worth that they receive in the beginning, 1 a week for the first month, and then 2 a month thereafter. So we're going to work on getting them on boards as well as on Team Extreme Facebook, so that you guys, if not Facebook, Team Extreme website, so that if you don't have Project Broadcast, you can still go in there, manually grab those messages and send those to your customers. Another software that I use is Teamzy, which is basically, if you're not familiar with Teamzy, let me pull here. What it does is it tracks, like there's my hot hands list. So those are the people I know I need to connect with, that I'm in conversation about becoming customers or partners. This is another system. You can have a notebook and you have a list of every week you're writing a hot hands list down of who you're going to connect with. The system doesn't matter, but what matters is, do you have a system that tracks your connections with the people your prospects? That's what matters, no matter what that looks like. I know Shelly Black uses a spreadsheet. I know Karen uses a notebook. We all have different systems. Back to systems are a dime a dozen, but if you want to be successful, you better have a system in place that tracks your connections and what those conversations are with the people. Then, sometimes people will say, no, I don't keep the credit card number. Well, that's okay. But here's where I have found down through the years that keeping that credit card is so key is a lot of times people will call me and say, hey, I want to add the omegas. I want to add the berries. I want this, I want that. I've just found when I have, and I don't keep it on my computer, I keep it in one of my notebooks up there on their actual order form. Because I can't tell you how many times I go back and I need it, and it saves me from calling them. It just makes it much easier. I want to take as much off of them and make it as easy as possible for them not to have to worry. All I want them to do is I send them a text every 4 months saying, hey, your Juice Plus is about to ship out. Are you ready for it? So they don't have to even think about it. And usually what I'll get is a thumbs up. That's what I want. I want to do that kind of customer service. Also having their health issues. We forget over time people get better. So it's reminding them, kind of taking them back of what Juice Plus has done for them. Or as I'm connecting with them, is I know what their health issue is. We have, I'm going to go back to Facebook. We have this amazing recordings right there, which if I know what my customers' issues are, all I have to do is come to this recording. Look at this: brain health, autism, another kid's autism, Wendy Campbell, who whatever she's talking about is going to be phenomenal. I mean, we just have an incredible library of videos that when somebody's order is about to ship out, and I'm going to go down here and show you, is this, let me get this so that it's big enough so y'all can see it, is if you're not printing this out on a weekly basis, let me get up here to this. I'm going to challenge you guys, utilize this tool. So this was last week's customers who were shipping out. So I go to the old virtual office and I print that out every week. So these are the person, look at that. I got to talk to my husband about his order. But these are the people I'm going to connect with. And I'm going to share this one right here. So I could let that ship out. That's a customer, Bobby and Claire. They've been customers of mine for 15 years at least. I could let Bobby and Claire's berry order ship out and not call them, and it wouldn't be any big deal. It'd be quicker for me. But you know what I did? I looked at that and I thought, you know what? They're on the trio, actually the quad. Why has it whittled down? And I've seen it whittle down to the point they're only taking the berries. And so I sent him a message. I said, Bobby, your berry blends are about to ship out. If you're good with it, I'll let it ship out. But let me ask you a question. Why are you only getting the berry blend? Why don't you need the fruit, the vegetable, and the omegas? Can I send you my research series, which is in Product Broadcast that Brenda and I put together, and we will put that out so you guys can utilize it too. Because you need reminded of why you're taking Juice Plus. You've been taking it a long time, and I think you forgot what the fruit, the vegetable, and the omegas are doing for your body. Can I send that to you? You know what? I haven't even looked at it, but I see that his wife, Claire, sent me a text message saying, and the first part of it, all I saw was, or 3 that Bobby takes. So I know she's responding to what I sent the message to Bobby, because I know Bobby's the one who I really connect with as far as Juice Plus. So it's okay to ask those customers those questions and kind of give them a little push when they've dropped off, or maybe they've never been on the trio or the quad. Mm-hmm. So, but without this tool, how would I have thought about that? Mm-hmm. I probably have a couple hundred customers. I forget stuff. So utilize this every week to trigger your thoughts on, Becky Mathern, been a customer for probably 20 years now. She has an amazing story. But I can see I've had to push, you see the R out there? I've had to push her order out a couple times. I don't need to send her a text this week. I need to call her, get her back on track. We all get off track. So utilize this tool that is at our fingertips every single week. I showed you Teamsy and tracking and connect and writing down what my conversations are with people. Here's another tool when it comes to follow-up is, are you guys using boards? We've got more information than we could ever use, but on boards, here's customer care, all kinds of stuff right at our fingertips that we can literally hit a button and boom, shoot it to somebody. Are you looking in here? Are you using this tool to really do good follow-up with your customers and prospects? Another great tool.
And it's constantly updated, which is lovely.
Yes. Another one, this is back to our Team Extreme website. Here's those first 4 brand new customer text messages. If you don't have Project Broadcast, you could go straight here. I'll try to get them on Voxer also, or on boards also. But it's already done for us. Literally, we just copy and paste. So I think it's not so much. And then again, on the hub, we've got a whole training series on customer care. So I don't think it's for lack of information. I think it's more about, do we have a system that we follow to ensure that our customers are getting good customer care? And I think, as I was showing you a few minutes ago, a lot of it has to do with, do we have a setup process that kind of sets all of this stuff up in motion? Whatever that looks like for you, and you've got many options, it's just make sure you've got a system in place that these people are hearing from you on a consistent basis. And I really believe with all my heart, this right here, every 4 months, this to me is the simplest way to make sure your customers are hearing from you. So every Monday, print off this form. One, you don't want them getting orders that they don't know about. That's annoying. You want them at least to know, even if it all is, hey, I just wanted, because a lot of them don't pay attention to the emails coming from the company, but they will pay attention and respond to a text from you. And sometimes all I just say is, I craft a text message and I just kind of massage it a bit depending on who it's going to. But hey, just wanted to let you know it's shipping out on such and such a date this week. If you're good to go, I'll let it ship as scheduled. If you need me to adjust, I'm happy to take care of it. Let me know. And just so they know you are on top of it. Just seeing your name reminds them you're on a journey with them. Okay. So I'm beating a dead horse. I'm going to move on. And then one last thing is that we talked about the buildup. So we talked about the setup, the follow-up, many ways to follow up, more information than we could ever possibly use. The last thing is the buildup, and this comes from you. And this all boils down to the relationship. How do I take a brand new customer and get them to the point that they are either a crusader or a partner? And when I say a crusader, that is customers who are out there getting me customers. They're referring Juice Plus so that they're telling me, hey, call so-and-so. And all I do is call them and I take an order. I want as many crusaders as I possibly can. And hopefully in the process of going after crusaders, I turn them into partners. And so those crusaders are taking from a brand new partner and getting them to a crusader, meaning the minute they have an opportunity to talk about Juice Plus, they may not want to be a partner, but by gosh, they will be out there referring Juice Plus to me like crazy. How do I get them to that point? Let me make sure we got 5 minutes left. How do I get them to that point? I asked to hear their story. Going back to my friend, Christy Sweat. I don't know if I said it on this call or the last call. Yeah, I said on this call of her saying, I don't even remember. All I know is I can't imagine how many things I've avoided because I've been on Juice Plus so long. So either hear their story or get them to recount. You know, what I should do is go back to her first order form, which I have, and I can tell you what was on that order form and say, do you remember why? And I know now that I'm saying this, she has a daughter that was born a week after mine. And I remember us talking about, oh my gosh, we got to make sure these kids not only just stay alive, but they thrive, you know, and that's where Juice Plus, that was our connection with Juice Plus, is getting good nutrition into our kids. So ask your customers their story. Sometimes I think we like shrink back, like, what if they don't notice anything? Well, then help them figure it out. Help them get, some people, man, they are on top of it. They know every little, I get people call me 2 weeks in, can you believe this is what's happening? Or 4 months in, they're like, I don't know why I'm taking it, but I know it must be good for me. We got people on the gamut, but we want, the more they understand what Juice Plus is doing, the closer we're going to get them to becoming a crusader. We use that questionnaire. Years ago, we have a questionnaire, which I need to find it. And we'll post it to Brenda. Would you mind making a note of that? Walking these new customers through a questionnaire once they've been on Juice Plus for 4 months, because sometimes those questions prompt, oh, I didn't even notice that. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. Okay, I need Juice Plus again.
May I share a story real
Yes,
quick?
please do.
I have some people that I don't know very well, but they have several kids, and their youngest one has been having seizures. He's like 5 years old all his life. And I just asked them, well, it's been 4 months now, 4 months ago, if I could get Juice Plus for their son, and on the Children's Health State. And I also give him the berries and the omegas. And the dad just came to pick up last week the new shipment, and I was saying, well, how is he doing? And I said, I see that his seizures have stopped. He goes, can you believe that? And I'm like, it is amazing. I said, you know, there's just nothing like the power of fruits and vegetables in their system. And he went, oh, you know, I never put that together. I'm like, yeah,
But
well,
see,
it
asking,
makes a real difference. And so then the wife sent me back a long message, just, oh, thank you. We're just so thrilled. We could never do this on our own, that kind of thing.
wow, I mean, that is a powerful story. And I think it's very reflective of so many of our customers. You know, they're not making that connection, but by simply asking the questions, you've just made the connection for them. Invite them to events. I'm telling you, if you want to turn customers into partners, get them to events. They get the big picture. So invite them to events. Don't worry if they come or not. If they don't come, no big deal, because you've just invested a little more. If you think about it, as a customer, you get them there. There's nothing in the bank account, that relational bank account, when you bring them on. And what you're doing is you're making these little deposits all along the way. And you're getting them from maybe just an entry-level customer to a, I don't know, whatever bank you bank with, a Crown customer. You're moving them in that direction because of the deposits you're making in them.
We have one tonight. We have an incredible event tonight. We talked about that in the first group, but don't miss it. And just sending out that transfer, that visual of transformation, whether they come on or not, that word's in their brain now.
Absolutely. Weave in your passion. You know, when you, a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this too, I'll send a text, but when you call someone, when they hear your voice, changes everything. They hear the excitement, the passion, the care, the concern. Weave in your passion when you're talking to people. Cast vision for the future. You know, I think of Amy Porterfield talking about future pacing. You know, what you're doing is helping them see. You know, the other day I've got a customer who I'm going to invite. We're doing a live event at my house on Wednesday night, and I'm inviting her. It's a new customer. And she was telling me, you know, I was saying, you know, tell me what you want to see. What do you want Juice Plus to impact? And she goes, look at this. She sends me a picture of her son, and he's got all these allergies. You can see it on his face. And I thought, oh my gosh, it took me back. And I said, oh my gosh, I remember before getting on Juice Plus, I would get allergies so bad and it would turn into sinus infections. And I'm like, I haven't had a sinus infection since I've been on Juice Plus, and allergies don't bother me. And so future pacing, and I'm like, just keep him on Juice Plus, double it if you need to. Just keep him on Juice Plus. Like me, I believe with all my heart, he will see a difference in the future. Share other customer stories. You know, I started sharing with her Sandy Dial's story. I don't know if Sandy's on today. Sandy Dial is a dear friend of mine, a partner for years, has an incredible story of allergies. Ask about their dreams. Share your dreams. And build relationships. Turn these customers into crusaders and hopefully partners. The buildup is what will make a difference, because when we keep customers for years on end, that's where really the incredible wealth that comes from having our Juice Plus business will come from. So, okay, I'm going to shut up. Any thoughts or questions before we close this series out of attaining customers, retaining them, and then lastly, how do we go about maintaining them? Any thoughts, questions, or comments? Did I put y'all to sleep? Sorry, I got kind of going there.
Not at all.
So
Not-
Elaine,
Yes.